Has this ever happened to you? Having been in the same role for some time, you've decided, well, I think I'm gonna try something different. In fact, not only something different, it's gonna be a different role and even in a different industry. The first thing you do is to throw in your application, and over time you realize that there isn't any response. So what do? Hi, my name is Eileen. I'm an organizational psychologist, an executive coach, and also the founder of The Art of Career. I help professionals like yourself in your career journey to seek a more fulfilling career by improving the everyday version of yourself. So here are 5 common reasons why you are not shortlisted by employers from a different role and also from a different industry. So stay tuned. So here's the question from the audience from our virtual seminar on uncovering alternate careers. And the question goes like this. Previously, I'm working as a secretary in the banking sector. Last year in May, I lost my job and I've been actively looking for jobs from trainee to contract and even part-time job. From receptionist to retail personnel, cashier and junior roles in all different industries that I've applied, none of these are successful. Some companies said I do not have any experience to some of these roles. I'm willing to have a career change, but no company is willing to accept my application. What else do I need to do and where could I go for help? So that's the situation. So let's listen to the responses from our panelists as I share with you more tips at the end on what actions you can take thereafter.
Not sure if I have any quick advice in a sense, but I would really go into, not going all out and shooting in all angles, but it's a situation whereby probably to really look back, back to my points on go into your criteria, right? What are the things that you think you can do well or you can at least do better, and to start to probably qualify yourself towards that angle. So for example, right, if you want to do retail and you don't have that experience, for example, then would it be to do something about that, be it a course, WSG has a lot of courses and things. So is it about training yourself on some of these aspects? And then to go towards a more qualified, to get more ability towards that specific angle, rather than to shoot out to all and then, you kind of take whatever comes. That would be my feel. I mean, at least as an employer at a certain point of my time, I think when people see interest or they are really working towards that, there are more employers who will be willing to give them more opportunities at the same time.
Yep. Okay. So Yingxing's response was talking about acquiring the requisite skills that's mentioned in the job advert. So for example, if you're interested in pursuing the role as a cashier, there's probably some basic fundamental qualifications that put you in a better place to do the job. So let's take a look at this job advertisement that I pulled out from my Careers Future. In this job advertisement, it talks about some basic educational qualification. So let's say you do not have a N-level or an O-level certificate, then perhaps what you might want to do is to sign up for that course and maybe put down in your CV that you're due to complete this particular course by which year. That's one way. Or perhaps search through my Skills Future website and look for some related training around handling cash, around reconciling merchandise, and also maybe consolidating the payout and the collections for the day. And there's also one other skills, which is point of sale systems. You might want to put down some courses that you have attended and some familiarity of the tools over there. Okay, now on that, let's listen to the second panelist response.
I'll say it from a HR angle, right? Because you have to understand how HR works is that their job is not to select candidate. Their job is to disqualify as many candidates as possible so that they can find the right person at the end of the day. So all you need to make sure you don't get eliminated. So I'll always ask people, right? Do you know what's the reason you get rejection? Is it because your CV is not written properly? Is it because of what you present, doesn't show where your strength is? Because you have to understand what the company is trying to look for. And many companies HR, like I said, they just do elimination, age, whatever. So certain things you may want to drop out. For example, maybe if age is an issue, don't put the age in. That's fine, right? Don't put the age in. Some people even put like driving license, home address. These are not necessary in any CV. Anything that allow you to be biased, judged against, you may want to drop it. So I probably can consider talking to Eileen here or talking to a WSG, career counselor. I think the whole thing is about understanding where is that gap and then closing that.
Okay, that's really interesting. Now, what Boon Seong is pointing to is get your CV right. If the format that you're using is not quite correct, he mentioned the point about if you think that age is a factor, then don't put that down. Now, I hope you don't get the wrong idea of, lying in your CV, because that's strongly not recommended. But what we do recommend is to adopt the right format, putting information that coincides with the line of sight and make that a bit more visible to the employer. And other information that is not required at that point, keep that to later. Now, in this job advert itself, manage cash and sales transaction in dining facility. You might want to talk about how you're always the go-to person in a social environment to make sure that the bill is settled amongst friends, and you're the one calculating who needs to pay how much, and also being very comfortable in different payment methods. Today there are so many: PayLah, PayNow, and also Google Pay. There's so many different types of payment modes. List the payment modes that you're familiar with in the CV. In other words, the right format to suit the job advertisement itself. So if you need some help on that, please attend our next workshop on 6 ways to customize your CV. Okay, so let's listen to what the next panelist has to say.
Let me give you an example. So I've not applied for jobs for quite a while already. So, and yet every now and then I still get opportunities come my way. And when I ask them, hey, look, why are you even asking me about this?
Yeah.
They say, well, you come across like you really understand leadership. And I think our organization could use someone like you. And when I think back to why people are coming up to me, and I've had job opportunities as far as China come to me, which is really odd. And I think about it, and I realize, wait, it's because I stand out for something. And when you do, you then separate yourself from the herd. And so maybe a good way to explore is, of course, sometimes we feel that if we are applying, we are doing something. Maybe you can have two versions of your application. One where this is the industry that I really want to be in, and I have the skill set and mindset to be in the industry. And another one is just a scattershot and see what happens. See if you get a different response. Because I think that when you stand out for something, when your skill sets and your skill sets and your knowledge allow you to be the tall poppy among the few of poppies, the poppy is a flower, then you're more likely to be seen and taken note of.
Okay, interesting to hear that from Daniel, because Daniel has chosen the author route, And in the course of pursuing that route, he comes across potential hiring managers who actually find him suitable for leadership roles. Now, how cool is that? Which means to say, a possible reason is this. Is applying to jobs your only strategy? If that's the case, you might want to consider going into other alternate careers or other alternate roles that could help you sidestep and then go back into the main target role that you're interested in. Essentially, he's talking about using opportunities to demonstrate some soft skills which is required in the target role. Let's take a look at the job advertisement for a cashier again. Now, in that job advertisement, it talks about some soft skills. Here are some soft skills that you could consider. For example, having good customer service. The next few are possibly areas that you would actually tick the box, because having worked as a secretary in the banking sector, I know that looks are also important, deportment, and also having a professional, dressing is also there. So I don't think there's an issue there. So did you include that in your CV? It becomes really important. Maintaining positive attitude, ability to write and read and write English, I don't think that's an issue, because the job application has already got the English requirements, unless the entire job application is written by someone else. Another thing is that this professional has been a secretary before in a banking sector, and that would mean, I'm pretty sure, with visitors visiting, having some team-on-team meetings, some internal events, as a secretary, you end up multitasking. So I don't think there's an issue in terms of multitasking. Okay, now then I moved on to share another possible reason why you're not being considered, which is a missed opportunity by most job seekers. And that is not looking for a career sponsor. So listen on. Yeah. So another thing I think a lot of the audience may not know is that Boon Seong's company also help his clients place people in roles as well. So, one connection to Boon Seong is like into a nucleus of many, many, many connections as well. So guys, please reach out to him.
You can send me your CV, but not over our channel.
Yeah. And please go watch the recording when we did the meet and greet with the Align group, because Boon Seong made a comment as well. As long as he sees a value in you, he there is an opportunity where both you and the organization, he'll find a place. So I think you need, as long as you convince him, he's there for you. I mean, really, how cool is that? And there has been, there are career sponsors that you need to look for. That would, to me, is an example of a career sponsor. I mentioned this so many times. Sometimes you don't need the hard skill, but you have the soft skills, and the hard, the hard skills in you, that you got the prerequisite of doing that job. And people see that, they plug you into that. And that's how I got into career coaching, because I was coming out from the corporate world, and the MD of a global consulting firm saw and say, hey, I need a career coach. Can you be one? Like, whoa, okay, wait, hang on. Why? Because you tick the boxes in all the so-called attributes that we need, right? The HR background, the soft skills, the passion to meet people, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, you need to find a sponsor. So get your story right. Okay, so I talked about finding your career sponsor. Getting your story right would mean, why do you want to join that industry? What fuels you? What drives you? Why are you interested in that particular industry? Sit down with your career coach and get this story right, just so you can inspire the next person that listens to your story to want to help you open doors and maybe even connect you with the right people who should be listening to your reason for joining that particular role in that particular industry.
Yes, I actually agree with Ing Shing, as in, if you try to take this scattershot approach, then what's going to happen is you're just really trying to see if you get lucky with anything. And what happens is that you can't gear your application towards a particular area and help you stand out in that particular area. So
and the way to circumvent that is to use a worksheet that's provided in the workbook to get you started. On this worksheet, what you want to do is to start off by writing down your target role which you are interested in, followed by a possible list of employers that you're interested to join. And by this, I mean the employer organization, such as from a furniture and retail sector. It could be the likes of IKEA and so on. Now then, move on to step 2 by analyzing a job advertisement of that target role and list down both functional skills that's required as well as the soft skills that's required. And from that, you would then move on to step 3 to look at some possible roles that allow you to showcase such soft skills. Now, if you can't find any roles that allow you to do that, a good place to start is to look at your previous role. Based on your previous role, what are some of the transferable skills are listed in step 2 that you could draw a parallel to? In this case, there are many roles that you could consider sidestepping before going into and applying to the main target role. What do I mean? If you take a look at the retail career path, here in this particular skills framework for retail, you would find right at the bottom of this diagram, you could maybe consider being a sales associate. Every business welcomes sales professionals who can help raise and bring in new business for them. You could even consider managing brands, going into marketing kind of role, merchandising, and even e-commerce, which is on the rise in this day and age. And then work your way up. Now, cashier being one of them, but did you know that in a small retail outfit, the cashier's role is typically lumped into many other roles rolled into one, which means someone who is helping out in the store could double up as a cashier. And herein lies many different roles that you can consider, assuming you're joining a product related retail sector. Now, when we talk about retail, it could also point to services related sort of retail sector, and that is one area that you might want to consider as well. Being sales support, helping out in a logistics firm, helping out in services firm, and so on, that could actually work in your favor. And that means we are actually having the opportunity to demonstrate transferable skills such as customer service, transferable skills such as multitasking, or organizational skills, conversation. All these are very useful in terms of the cashier experience. Now, if step 3 cannot be filled out, then go back to step 2. If step 2 cannot be realized, then you might want to revisit step 1 again. So this is an active worksheet which is designed to help you toggle between step 1, 2, and 3 and maybe working your way back up again. It's a journey of exploration. This worksheet is designed to help you and guide you on that journey, just so you have clarity on every step that you take that will give you answers to how close or how far you are, or maybe you just need to revisit the entire target role itself. So there you have it. 5 possible reasons why you are not shortlisted by your potential hiring manager of a different role and from a different industry. 1, not having the prerequisites or the hard functional knowledge, skills, and experience that's required in your target role. And the way to go about that is to indicate the courses that you have signed up for or have completed no matter how short that course is. Number 2 is to use the wrong CV format. And for that, please join our upcoming workshop on 6 ways to customize your CV. Number 3 is to use only one job search strategy to land your next job, and that is only to apply to job advertisement. So Daniel has already shared one other way whereby any opportunities that you have demonstrate your soft skills that's required in the job. Number 4 is not finding a career sponsor, and the way to go about that is to find a career sponsor and of course get your story right. And number 5 is to adopt an unstructured approach to switching roles and switching careers. And the way to circumvent that is to use a worksheet that's provided in the workbook to get you started. Okay, I hope you find this video useful. If that's the case, remember to click the like button below and also to subscribe to our channel. And better yet, tell us what other challenges do you face in your job search so that we can respond to you in our next video.